UX is tough, not because of the work itself, but because of everything around it. The pressure, the politics, the self-doubt. Joe Natoli has been through it all, and for more than 30 years, he's been helping UXers and designers find their way through the challenges that really make or break a career. Not the wireframes or design tools, but imposter syndrome, office politics, bad bosses, and learning to stand your ground. This is Making UX Work, where he tackles the battles no boot camp, book, or conference ever prepares you for, and shows you how to come out stronger on the other side.
There's a Buddhist parable of two arrows that includes this quote that's attributed to the Buddha, and it goes, "In life, we cannot always control the first arrow. However, the second arrow is our reaction to the first. The second arrow is optional." So to put that another way, pain is inevitable, but suffering is absolutely optional. Which is basically saying, look, pain happens. It's part of life. It's given. If you're alive, you're going to have pain. Suffering, on the other hand, is something that we pile on top. Suffering is what we create when we can't let go, when we cling, when we refuse to accept what's right in front of us. All right, life and often work is filled with discomfort. It's full of hardship. It's full of loss. And those experiences are part of the human condition, which, makes them unavoidable. But the suffering we experience is not a natural result of pain. It comes from our attachment to the way things should be, not the way they are. Suffering shows up when we try to fight what already is, when we resist, when we ruminate, when we replay, rehash, instead of adapting, okay? Why am I telling you all this? Because, look, one way or another, everything is broken. It's imperfect. It's less than ideal. Everything. Okay? To believe otherwise is to waste your time arguing with reality. People ask me questions all the time. Why is this so hard? Because it is. Why won't they listen to me? Because they won't. Why is my boss such an asshole? Because he is. There's a Corrosion of Conformity song, one of my favorite bands, whose chorus goes, "It is that way because it is." And that has always felt like truth to me. It just fucking is. So why do we struggle against it? Why do we act shocked every time life doesn't cooperate with our expectations? Right? Why the denial? What does that help? Everything is broken. So what? You can lose yourself in that pain or you can move through it. Now look, I get it. The pain can absolutely be intense. Things are not fair. People do not do the right thing. Systems don't work. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, am I going to keep bleeding energy into complaining about what should be, or am I going to start working with what is? Happiness is not a choice, okay? Despite all this feel-good bullshit that you read online. It's not a choice. It's effort. It comes from work. It's a repeated decision to cut off that downward spiral of negativity. It's a concerted effort to tell your brain enough. Okay, negativity is a habit, man. And like any habit, you can break it, but only if you're deliberate. If you want something to change, you make the effort. You don't wait for someone else to come around. You stop wallowing in powerlessness because let's be honest, as good as it can feel to soak in that victim space, like it's your very own hot tub of self-pity, some part of you knows it's bullshit. Some part of you knows it's a lie. To sit in that space, to complain but not act, it's a fucking cop-out. It's a lot easier to say, oh, there's nothing I can do, than to admit that change would require effort, would require risk, discomfort. The truth is, it's on you. It's in your hands. Anything else is an excuse to stay stuck. It's a choice. You either accept defeat and live in that old familiar defeatist mindset, or you say, no, fuck that. I'm not done. I'm going forward. I'm claiming what I deserve. I read a quote once that has always stuck with me that said, "The degree to which you accept responsibility for everything in your life is the degree of personal power that you have to change anything in your life." I believe that 100%. So when people ask me how I get through the political bullshit, the friction, the slow-moving teams, and a lack of buy-in in corporate environments, I always answer the same way, okay? Dealing with that effectively comes down to three things. Number one, recognize that it's imperfect. Number two, accept that it's imperfect. Number three, quit bitching about the fact that it's imperfect and find spots to work better UX thinking into stuff that's already happening. That's it. That's my magic formula. Given to you here free of charge. All right? I'm not trying to change the world. I'm just trying to do the damn work. Every day. Show up, make the thing better, push where I can, let go where I need to. I've learned through trial and error and a hell of a lot of frustration that I can either complain or I can act, but I cannot do both. That comes from time and experience, both of which have taught me that if you're waiting for executives or stakeholders to suddenly have an epiphany, to see the light and come to you begging, please give us some of your wonderful user-centered design, you simply must help us. If you're waiting for that, you're going to be waiting a long fucking time. Okay? So I've stopped caring about the right way to do things. I care about what works right now with the constraints that I've got. I don't care if it's made up of formal methods or gut instinct. Doesn't matter. I don't care if I've got a month or a week or a day. Doesn't matter. I don't care if I've got research or not. Doesn't matter. The work is the work is the work is the work is the work. And it has to get done, period. All right? Someone else can teach you the deep, rigorous processes with all those stupid diagrams and flowcharts and multi-week research plans. Okay? Someone else can gatekeep with their checklists and their best practices. It ain't going to be me. Even as a consultant, even with a solid reputation, even with 3 decades of experience and success for some very big names under my belt. It all changes nothing. My daily work is still full of trade-offs and compromises just like yours. And yeah, a lot of them are political.
Every UXer and product designer I've ever met eventually hits the wall. You know the wall, the one built by managers, stakeholders, or formed by internal politics. The wall that renders every method they were ever taught irrelevant or just feeling impossible. Joe Natoli has spent 35 years helping global enterprises tear that wall down. The UX 365 Academy Joe created is the missing manual for your UX career. It's the much-needed practical lessons for the world you actually work in. Stop struggling to get buy-in and start making impact. Learn more at ux365academy.com.
I live in reality, okay? The vast majority of companies I work with want things fast, cheap, and yesterday. Even and especially the big companies who have money and the people and the resources. All right, they could be doing robust research. They're not. They could be spending a lot more time on design iteration and testing. They're not. They could take a step back and ask why the urgent always trumps the important, why they let developers drive design, and why none of those KPIs have been met for the last 6 months. They're not. And I know I'm not alone in this because so many of you who come to me, my students, my clients, my colleagues, are living this too. You're overwhelmed, you're frustrated, you're trying to do good work in chaotic environments where the user is not always the top priority. Now, are there teams and departments in companies who are both authorized and able to take the requisite time and care when it comes to UX and product design work? Yeah, but that's rarefied air, my friends. Those organizations are the minority, and they sure as shit are not the norm, no matter what you read online or learn in some course or see in some video. That's not the world I live and work in, and judging by the emails and DMs I get every hour of every day, it's not the world a whole lot of you live and work in either. So my job is to get real. My job is to help you get real too. And understand something, okay? You'll encounter plenty of opposition to all this when you talk about it out loud. And the gaslighting that you'll experience is very real. You are not imagining it. I get DMs and comments on posts on a daily basis telling me how full of shit I am because I don't advocate for what these high-minded, self-important individuals believe to be the right way to do UX and product design work. In one instance, this guy told me that I was devaluing the profession because I suggested it was more than possible to deliver great UX and great product design with no research. You may be shaking your head as well, but I'll tell you what I told him. I've gotten the following results without doing any user research. A 200% increase in conversion and completed service purchases. A 173% increase in parent caregiver sign-up and system use. A 122% reduction in phone calls to customer service. a 224% reduction in emails to customer service, a 116% increase in free trial sign-up and download, and a 276% increase in patient enrollment in proactive wellness programs. No research, no interviews, just smart, focused, experience-informed design under tight, imperfect conditions. So when someone tells me, if you're not talking to users, that's not UX, or I can't possibly do my job without X, Y, and Z, all I can say is, that's life. Get real, do the work. Okay? How do you do that? By doing 6 specific things. Number 1, accept what is and stop wishing for it to be different. Number 2, keep redefining the problem in front of you until it's worthy of solving. Number 3, see failure as a part of the process. You cannot and will not win them all. It's okay. Failure is not a bug. It's a feature in how all this works. Number 4, expect opposition, especially from people who love the comfort of how we've always done it. That fear that you're sensing is very, very real, believe me. Number 5, do the best you can with what you've got. Advocate for better, of course. Advocate for more, absolutely. But don't waste 1 second of your life fighting a battle that's already been lost. When the final answer is no, move on. Number 6, learn from everything, even the shit jobs. In fact, especially the shit jobs. Every single situation has something to teach you if you're willing to stay open to it. Listen, none of this is easy, okay? And it's not supposed to be. Neither creativity or success follows the path of least resistance. In fact, I think they both thrive on the opposite. So anything worth doing is going to be a bumpy ride over rocky ground. And if you ever want to get anywhere worth going, you got to accept that. And as you bump your way down that road, I want you to keep this in mind. Pain is inevitable, but suffering, that part's optional.
You've been listening to Making UX Work with Joe Natoli. Honest talk about the hidden challenges that shape a design career. See you next time. And until then, onward and upward.